Hello, I am Carlos. I am glad that you are interested in butterflies, some of the most beautiful and fascinating insects in the world. Butterflies are part of the order of Lepidoptera, which means scaled wings. These scales give butterflies their varied and striking colors and patterns. Butterflies are important to nature because they help pollinate flowers, carrying pollen from one plant to another. They are also a food source for other animals, such as birds and reptiles. But the most amazing thing about butterflies is their incredible metamorphosis, the process by which a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly. Did you know that a caterpillar consumes itself to become a butterfly? It's true. Inside the chrysalis, the caterpillar sheds its organs and tissues and becomes a soup of epithelial cells called imaginal discs. These cells are responsible for forming the new body parts of the butterfly, such as the wings, antennas, and eyes. It is a radical change that requires a lot of energy and time. Would you like to know more about butterflies and their metamorphosis? Then keep listening. The life of a butterfly begins as a tiny oval-shaped egg. The mother butterfly looks for a suitable plant to lay her eggs on, usually a plant that will serve as food for the future caterpillars. Each butterfly species has its plant preferences, and some are very selective. The mother butterfly can lay from a few to hundreds of eggs, depending on the species. Butterfly eggs have a protective layer called the chorion, which gives them resistance and prevents them from drying out. The chorion also has pores that allow for gas exchange. The eggs can have different colors and textures, from white and smooth to green and spiny. Some eggs have a special shape that helps them fit on the leaves or stems of plants. The eggs take from a few days to a few weeks to hatch, depending on the temperature and humidity. When the caterpillar is ready to come out, it breaks the chorion with a special structure called the hatching tooth, which is like a tooth. The caterpillar usually eats the chorion, which provides nutrients. Thus begins the second stage of a butterfly's life, the larva or caterpillar. The caterpillar stage is the longest and most active stage of a butterfly's life. Newly hatched caterpillars are very small, a few millimeters long, and have a large head and a soft segmented body. They also have 6 true legs and several false legs or prolegs, which help them cling to plants. Caterpillars have a voracious appetite and spend most of their time eating. They mainly feed on plant leaves, but some can also eat flowers, fruits, seeds, or even other caterpillars. Some caterpillars have special adaptations to defend themselves from predators, such as stinging hairs, spines, bright colors, or venom. As the caterpillars grow, they have to shed their skin several times because their skin does not stretch. Each time they shed their skin, it is said that they go through a stage or instar. Most caterpillars go through 4 or 5 instars and can increase their size up to 1,000 times. In the last instar, the caterpillar prepares for the next stage of its life, the pupa or chrysalis. The process of self-devouring, or autophagy, is one of the most surprising and mysterious in nature. It refers to how a caterpillar consumes itself to transform into a butterfly. How does this happen? I will explain it to you. When the caterpillar reaches the final stage of its larval life, it looks for a safe place and attaches itself to a branch or a leaf with a silk thread. Then it begins to form a hard and protective layer around its body, called a pupa or chrysalis. Inside the chrysalis, the caterpillar begins to release enzymes that dissolve its organs and tissues, except for some special groups of cells, the previously mentioned sacs. These cells are responsible for forming the new parts of the butterfly's body, such as the wings, antennas, and eyes. To do this, they use the nutrients and molecules that are released from the caterpillar's destruction. Thus, the caterpillar turns into a soup of cells that reorganize and differentiate to create a new form of life. Why does the caterpillar self-devour? What advantages does this process have? Scientists do not have a definitive answer, but there are some hypotheses. One is that autophagy allows the caterpillar to eliminate parts of its body that it no longer needs, such as the digestive system or the legs, and replace them with others more adapted to its new life as a butterfly, such as the wings or the proboscis. Another hypothesis is that autophagy is a way to protect against viruses and bacteria that could infect the caterpillar during metamorphosis, since by destroying its own body, it also destroys potential pathogens. Whatever the reason, the truth is that autophagy is a fascinating process that shows the capacity for adaptation and transformation in nature. The formation of the chrysalis is the third stage in the life of a butterfly. The chrysalis is a structure that protects the caterpillar while it transforms into a butterfly. The chrysalis can have different shapes, colors, and textures, depending on the butterfly species. Some chrysalises resemble leaves or branches, and others have bright or metallic colors. The chrysalis can also have defense mechanisms, such as spines, poison, or sounds. Inside the chrysalis, the most magical and mysterious process of nature occurs: metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is the radical change that the caterpillar undergoes to become a butterfly. As I already told you, the caterpillar self-devours and turns into a soup of cells that reorganize and differentiate to form the new parts of the butterfly's body. This process can take from a few days to several months, depending on the species and environmental conditions. The birth of the butterfly is the fourth and final stage of a butterfly's life. The butterfly emerges from the chrysalis when it is ready to start its new life. To get out of the chrysalis, the butterfly uses a special structure called the cremaster, which is like a hook. The butterfly hooks onto the cremaster and swings until it breaks the chrysalis. Then it comes out and clings to the empty chrysalis or a nearby branch. When the butterfly comes out of the chrysalis, its wings are wet and wrinkled and it cannot fly. It has to wait for its wings to dry and expand. To do this, the butterfly pumps a liquid called hemolymph from its abdomen to its wings. This liquid gives rigidity and shape to the wings. The butterfly also expels a reddish liquid called meconium, which is the residue of metamorphosis. When its wings are dry and ready, the butterfly makes its first flight. The butterfly has to adapt to its new body and environment. It has to learn to use its wings, proboscis, antennas, and eyes. It also has to look for food, shelter, and a mate. The butterfly feeds on the nectar of flowers, which it absorbs with its coiled proboscis. Its antennas serve to smell, feel, and orient itself. Its eyes allow it to see colors and movements. The butterfly can live from a few weeks to several months, depending on the species and time of year. This video about butterflies and their metamorphosis ends here. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new about these incredible insects.